37 tips if you're going to build your own tiny house, and we're going to be going over 10 of them today as we get back to work. We got Justin here. Like I said in the last video, he's going to be like way down there working on Big Mike tractor, which I think is right there. John's here, and we're going to get to work on the tiny house. We're going to start on that pile of T111 siding and start wrapping the tiny house all the way around. We'll see how far we get. Tip number one is just start early. You know, it's not early right now. It's like in the afternoon, and we're just now getting started. So it's about 12:15 in the afternoon. It's already hot. That's a big mistake. Mistake number one. And these tips are just to help you just be more efficient, you know, when you're building your tiny house or whatever it is you're building, and just to help your overall process, you know, of getting it done. Tip number one, whenever it's super hot outside, just start early, work in the cooler parts of the day. Don't do what I do, okay? You get started late, you're gonna be working right in the middle of the dead heat in the middle of summer. It's freaking the middle of July in Arkansas, and I can tell you right now, the heat ain't no joke. All right, guys, weed chopper ain't starting. That's kind of the first problem for the day. He's wanting to chop the weeds down there by Big Mike tractor, and weed chopper's not starting. I'm telling you what, those weeds down there ain't no joke. So I guess tip number two, if you're building a tiny house, you're gonna have to cut the grass, you know? You are. And you're gonna need some kind of equipment that runs so that you can cut the grass. So just make sure, tip number two, you got something good to cut the grass with. Tip number three, if you're trying to build a tiny house, and especially if you're in Arkansas, and especially if it's summertime, you're gonna wanna have some kind of form of bug spray. Okay, the higher the deep, the better. Mosquitoes, ticks, all kinds of biting insects are out here. Summertime in Arkansas is no freaking joke when it comes to bugs that are trying to eat you. So that's tip number three. All right, so the fourth tip that I have when building a tiny house is if you happen to have somebody over that's working on the tractor back there in the background, you make sure that your weed chopper works. Well, ours isn't, and the weeds are real tall back there, and we're gonna have to deal with it. You need a good set of jumper cables. That's tip number four, because I gotta drive my truck, which is boom right there, down there in the weeds, get out, hook the jumper cables up, and we gotta see if we can get Big Mike tractor started. So tip number four, if you're building a tiny house in Arkansas or anywhere else, you're gonna need a good set of jumper cables. The fifth tip, when you're trying to build a tiny house and you're also kind of working on the tractor, if the jumper cables don't work, you're gonna have to take the battery off, go get it tested, and possibly get yourself a new battery, and maybe even then the tractor is not gonna work. We don't really know, but that's the next step. So if you're trying to build a tiny house, but you're also working on a tractor, you might need a new battery. Yep. Okay. Oh, it fits perfect. Look at that.
Yeah, buddy.
Perfect fit. Oh, man. You still got that crescent and stuff?
Yeah,
okay.
Sitting right back here.
Okay. And here's the bungee cord too. Let me get that wrapped around. All right, the tractor's a big no-go. We're gonna have to work on that when we have a little bit more time and we can dig into it a little bit deeper. Doesn't seem like it's wanting to start, even with the new battery. So we'll get that figured out. But in the meantime, we gotta get to work on the siding, and we need to put it right there on the tiny house. So I'm gonna shut up and we're gonna get to work.
quickly. Oh, there's my phone tripod right there. And my tape measure. Got the torpedo level.
All right, the sixth tip, if you're wanting to build a tiny house in Arkansas or anywhere else, is just keep your job site clean. You know what I mean? It makes it so much easier whenever you're walking around. You're not tripping over boards like I do all day. Just take some time every now and again. Do yourself a great big huge favor and clean up your job site. So that's number 6 tip. Moving on to number 7. All right, tip number 7, whenever you gather up all your shims, boom, I put them in a nice little pack like this, and I get my cellophane wrap. Got like one of those rolls of cellophane I keep in my truck, and I wrap it up, and I've got shims for the next project. So reusable, don't just throw them away. You might need them later, you know what I'm saying? So that's tip number 7 if you're trying to build a tiny house.
Might be the hottest day yet.
It's freaking brutal out here.
Guys, it sure is hot out here today on the Sweet 16. I think it's about 105 and also very humid. I feel like I'm about to die of heat stroke any second now, and we really haven't even been working that long today. We got a little late start and messing with the tractor and everything. It was a mess, you know what I'm saying? But guys, I don't know how my dad does it. He's over here working so hard, carrying all these pieces of T111 by himself, and he's barely even breaking a sweat. You know, I feel like I'm about to die of heat stroke now any second, but we're gonna get a couple more pieces of this siding up, and I think that'll probably end up doing it for the day, guys. So now I've got the door cut out. I gotta come back and cut this window out right here. And then after that, I'll pick it up and we'll go nail it to the side of the house. So lift that piece of that flop up so I can slide All right, guys, had to sit down and take a break in the shade, man. I was getting so freaking hot over there. The front of that tiny house is just directly in the afternoon sun, and it is beaten down. But yeah, the whole idea of what we've done so far was just started in the middle and then put one sheet on that side and one sheet on that side. And now we have to fill in both corners and start working our way around the sides of the tiny house. And whenever I get back over there, that's what I'm gonna start doing. So far, so good. We're getting a little bit of the siding on. We'll have to do build outs around the windows and do a bunch of trim and stuff like that. You know, obviously we have to case the doors and whatnot. We'll probably just use cedar to do all this stuff with, cedar trim whenever we can. Probably gonna have to cut some cedar on the sawmill. And as we're going, we'll cut some cedar and get some boards kind of ahead, because I want to use that like on the soffits and fascias and stuff like that, and just use as much of my own wood as I possibly can, because that's going to save us a lot of money. You know what I mean? The cedar and trim boards and 1-bys, that stuff's not cheap whenever you got to go buy a whole bunch of it for a project. So yeah, we'll use what we can from what we got and make it go as far as we can without having to buy stuff. You know what I mean? Because there's just going to be some things I'm going to have to buy. Like, I am not going to be able to get around it. So I want to save my have to buy stuff for have to buy, and save money where I can, and make things the best I can with stuff that I already got, or, you know, like cutting my own wood or whatever. So I'll be gearing up to do some of that here shortly. Once we get this thing in the dry, it'll probably be sawmill time. So I'm gonna shut up and we're about to get back to it. Tip number 8, if you're trying to build a tiny house in Arkansas or anywhere else in the world, just wear a shirt. You know what I mean? I can promise you, I wear my shirt every single time I work on a tiny house, because nobody's got time to see a bunch of that. You know what I mean? And if I wasn't wearing a shirt, I'd be getting sunburned today really, really bad. So I got that type of Norwegian skin that sunburns really easily. And sometimes I can even get sunburn right through my shirt. So you definitely want to wear a shirt to protect yourself and to protect others. That's tip number 8.
That's good. All that will get trimmed out, so I ain't worried about that corner. I might need you to hand me that nail gun right there.
I didn't know you could kick like that.
All right, we're perfectly level right there. Ladder over there. Nail the top, and then that'll be it for today anyways. Is that on the 2x4? All right, guys, that's going to do it for the tiny house show today. But before I go, the 10th tip, if you're going to build a tiny house, that I recommend is just filming it. You know what I mean? Just film your build, keep up with it, put it on YouTube, and later on, years down the road, if you ever want to watch it or reminisce about how you did it, or just have it as a reference to show other people, or leave some kind of a legacy for your grandkids or your regular kids, just something for them to go back and see you on, you know, if something should ever happen to you, just film it, you know, have fun while you're doing it, put it on YouTube. Maybe other people will watch it, maybe they won't, but at least you and your family, if they wanted to, could go back and watch you building the tiny house on YouTube. So that's tip number 10, film it. Really appreciate you guys watching today. Me and John had a fun day. We didn't get as much of the siding done as we thought we were because the tractor consumed about half of our day, but that's just how it is. We're trying to get it started and everything like that. But I think we're gonna have to dig a little bit deeper, possibly get a part or two, and we didn't quite make it that far. So we just jumped on the tiny house, got as much as we can done. We did get 5 sheets done. And when we get back, we'll just kind of continue the process until we get it all done. Appreciate you guys being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. You'll get notified each and every time we post a brand new video. And I guess that's it. We'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace. Peace. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. Putting the nail gun away. We got 5 sheets up today, which I don't think was too bad. Got the whole tiny house done on front, man. That looks good. Now, the top gable part, like the triangle right there, it's gonna get cedar shingles, and we're gonna be doing a shed roof off the front. That's probably gonna be about 6 feet wide or something like that. So we still got some stuff to do where that T111 ends. I gotta put a board going all the way across there. We gotta put a drip edge, and then we'll put our cedar shingles on there. The bottom side will get painted. We'll spray that before we even put any of the trim on, because the trim's gonna be the brown color, match the rest of the tiny house. John's loading up right now. Boom, already got the bag. We're gonna load up, and next time we come back, we'll just keep rocking and rolling all the way around the entire tiny house. So really do appreciate you guys watching. And I guess tip number 10 would be this. If you're trying to decide if you're gonna build a tiny house, or maybe you're in the middle of it and you're just watching these videos to get inspiration and get tips and stuff, I'm just gonna give you all the tips, man. there's a lot more that goes into it than just pounding in a nail or measuring or keeping things level and square. You know what I mean? There's a lot of other little things too that's going to make your tiny house building experience much better. And if you can learn from all the mistakes that I've made, it might make your project go way better in the end. So really do appreciate you guys watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment, you know, and I'll comment back, and that'll be cool. So let me know what y'all think. Do you like the tiny house? Is it coming along? How long do you think it's going to take for us to get it done? That's the question right now. Drop it down below, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace! I didn't know what to do, and we both did it at the same exact time.